right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday Night Wisdom Share Sacred Practices. Glad you're all here tonight, whether you're here in person or on Zoom or on Facebook Live. We're really happy that you're here for this evening. It's a special evening, and as far as our Wisdom Share is concerned, we've been doing this now for, it has to be over 3 years. We've been doing the Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares, and it was called Wisdom Shares and Sacred Practices. And it was called Wisdom Share Sacred Practices in order to, that was what we kind of, that's what the visioning brought up 3 years ago, that people would come and have an experience of a sacred practice. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I can hear.
Can you guys hear me on Zoom?
Yeah, Peter is having trouble hearing you.
Okay. Can you guys hear me on Zoom okay? Okay. So I guess I have to have my phone.
Hold your phone closer to your mouth.
Okay. So I'm kind of going to be on and off on Zoom. Okay, sorry about that. So technical challenges tonight. We're trying to do 3 things at one time, so. What I say, how many religious sciences does it take to turn on a Zoom account? There's got to be a good joke for that, right? So,
Sit in the office, do you think? And host it there?
whatever easier for you. I mean, if there's only,
I can see more people.
yeah, if you want to do it that way, then that's fine. I'd hate for you to not be out here, but it's okay. Whatever works. Yeah,
I can
you could still participate. Yeah, I'll yell for you if I need you.
we have our eyes closed.
I'll yell for you if I need you. Okay, Eunice is going to go in the office and run the Zoom from the office. Okay, so I just want to share a couple announcements for what's coming up. Like I said, I was getting ready to say is tonight is going to be a visioning process for the direction of our Wednesday night program. The name might even change after tonight. We're throwing the doors wide open to infinite possibilities for what Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares Sacred Practices could look like, or what our Wednesday night program could look like. But it's not me trying to figure it out. It's not you trying to figure it out. It's throwing the doors wide open to catch God's vision for what's already happening. And that's part of the essence of the visioning process. But I do want to share a few announcements that are going on here for the rest of this month. We have Jeff Kingfisher next Wednesday. And I know Jeff is going to put together an amazing program for us. We just kind of, I don't know if you came up with anything else about next Wednesday, but we just basically, he was thinking about having just a really nice musical casting, then bringing the sounds in and really having us have an experience of what he creates with the sounds and the music and really he did a wonderful teaching, I guess, last month. So now we all know. We all know all the science behind it and all the understanding and vast wellspring of wisdom and ancient wisdom that Jeff teaches so beautifully. And this Wednesday will be definitely experiential, and you'll get a taste of it all. So on the next Wednesday after that is Gail Crosby is going to be here. And Gail is an amazing spiritual teacher, and she is going to be speaking on the great mystery revealed. Yes, ma'am?
I don't think you have your video camera on.
I don't.
In your
Yeah,
cell phone.
I know I can't because I'm looking at something else right now. But thank you. I'm not on live. You can hear me right now on Zoom, but I'll get my picture on in a minute. But my phone won't do more than one thing at a time. Thanks for telling me that, Eunice. Thank you. So the great mystery, and if you haven't heard Gail, or if you've heard her, she really is very, very clear on this connection that we have with this great mystery, with this great spirit, with this creative source. She says, when we think of what is all that surrounds us, it's nearly impossible to find the words to express it. In the end, we must simply say, all this is. This is. But what is this is good, true, and beautiful, as Plato insists. Why then is the world, our lives, sometimes in shambles? The answer is simple. This created humankind. to be free. Free to think, free to reason, free to choose. So she says, while this moves and governs all through the divine standard operating system, she teaches on called the divine standard operating system. Humans are free to ignore it or choose to govern themselves. This is called the human standard operating system. It's the lack of harmony with all that is good, true, and beautiful is the cause of so much of our suffering. The divine operating system has until now been hidden. Those throughout the ages who know the system have used it, presented it the world using philosophical, religious, spiritual, and mystical voice. This time, then, not yet, right for a voice of great clarity. Oh, this is the time that's right for a voice of great clarity. And that's what Gail's going to be sharing. It's called the Divine Operating System, so the DOS. So come next on the, what day is that? That's the 19th of January. And then we have the last Wednesday, we have January 26th, we have Reverend Vince and Peter Bedard, and they're going to be doing something called Inspirational Goals for 2022, and they're going to put together a really powerful share on space to create a way for us to kind of tap into that creative source within us. And I love what Reverend Vince says, why settle for less when more is possible? Better health, better supply, better flow, and support are all possible when summoned and understood. Learn how to secure these possibilities for 2022 with simple guidelines that will be shared by Reverend Vince Kiefner and author and teacher Peter Bedard, who I saw online here just a little bit ago. So on Zoom. So come for that's the last Wednesday of this month. That's January 26th. So that's a lot of what we got going on. We appreciate all your love and support here for our beautiful spiritual community and for our Wednesday night program. So Jeff is going to put up on the screen for Facebook Live for how to text to give. And if you're here, there's a little jar over there. You can text to give. And if you need any more information, we'll have it at the door. Or Reverend Eunice could put it in the chat on the Zoom. All right, so we're so excited to be here tonight. I want to start with a reading from Ernest Holmes. And it's out of the book, The Science of Mind. I know many of you have heard of it. And yeah, hold on one second. Oh, you can't hear me?
No,
Can you hear me now?
your mic is going in and out. It's
Yeah,
very
your phone up closer to your head, face.
Okay, so I guess it's coming right through my phone then. Okay. Can you hear me now?
yes.
Okay, let me just hold the phone.
Yeah, you have to look
I'll pretend like I'm holding a microphone. Well, that's what I'll do. I'll pretend like I'm holding a microphone.
right.
I am holding a microphone. Two of them. I have one on my head. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. So
Thank you, Reverend.
this comes, thank you guys for helping me out with that. So you can hear me now okay, everybody? Okay, good.
Yeah, your voice drops when you when you say, can you hear me now? You're very clear. But then when you start chatting, your voice drops in volume.
It is. Okay, well, okay. I don't think it's actually dropping in volume, but it could be. Maybe it's just the way it's coming across. But so anyway, one of my beloved teachers, Reverend Dr. Don Burt, was my teacher when I first stumbled on this path when I was 28 years old. And some random person who I haven't talked to in years called me, left a message of his recording on my phone this weekend for the New Year's. And said, this is a gift from Reverend Dr. Don Burt, who was my first teacher and my beloved teacher, who I just see so much in my heart and everything that I do. Whenever you hear me say in meditation, now we quiet and still our mind, and we enter into the sanctuary of peace. Whenever I say that, I got that directly from Reverend Dr. Don Burt. He reminds me every time. All right, so you can hear me okay now? Online? Okay, good. Mostly? So still a little bit, that's so weird that it's still a little bit sketchy.
Phone is very directional, it seems like.
Yeah, okay. Let me turn off this. This might work a little better too. Okay. I guess I don't want you to have to look at the ceiling. Okay, here we go. I'll stop being codependent. So, a mystic is one who intuitively perceives truth and who, without conscious mental process, arrives at spiritual realization. The mystic includes the great prophets, the inspired writers, the illumined souls of all ages. What we have received from them constitutes the greatest intellectual and spiritual heritage of the ages. All the mystics have recognized the absolute unity of God and man. Within the infinite mind, each individual exists, not as a separated, but a separate and distinct entity. We are a point in universal consciousness, which is God. We are not separate from life, neither is it separated from us. But we are separate entities in it, in God, individualized centers of God consciousness. True mystics have not denied the reality of individuality. They have all agreed that the soul is on a pathway of experience, of self-discovery, of the way to its Father's house. They have told us of the marvelous relationship which exists between God and man, of a close union which cannot be broken. So in that, and that's on page 419 in the general summary. I thought that was appropriate after hearing that from Reverend Dr. Don Burt, although he's passed about over 10 years ago now. But I got to hear his voice this weekend. What a treat. But what was so beautiful about that is it kind of ties into what we're doing tonight in the visioning process. Because in the visioning process, what we're actually doing is we're actually opening up to catch God's vision for what's already happening in us, as us, and through us. We're throwing the doors wide open to catch the infinite possibilities, to tap into and align with what's already within us. And so the practice, or the visioning process, is a powerful process of surrendering ourself in a way and tapping into something much deeper, which is that connection with the universal soul consciousness, which is really ultimately our true self, showing up in beautiful, unique expressions that each one of us is. So unique, you know. So tonight, for those of you who just came on, let me see how many. For those of you who just came on, I wanted to let you know what we're doing is a visioning process, and its intention tonight is for our Wednesday night wisdom shares, and what we want to catch the vision for what the direction of our Wednesday night wisdom programs could look like, or is going to look like. What we do is we're going to be asking you some questions along with the process. So it's a process that I'll be guiding us through, and then you're going to be writing down as we go at some point, okay? Writing ideas, symbols, whatever you're seeing, you're writing it down. Then after we do this whole little process, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty simple. Then we kind of compare notes, and we see what the theme is. And it's really the theme.
You guys hear me?
It's the theme that actually helps us to.
Why don't you switch to Facebook during the visioning, just to hear?
Are you still having trouble hearing me? Are you guys still having trouble hearing me online?
Your voice goes in and out, I mean, down.
I can hear you clearly
Talk
now.
real
You're
soft.
fine.
You
That's,
have to really enunciate to hear it on Zoom,
okay.
more so than your normal speaking voice.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's a little frustrating, but I'm going to have to go with it. It's all divine order. And it's like I'd be right in my face. Can you guys see at my nose okay? Anyway, let's go with the flow. So anyway, so what I was saying is that we're going to catch God's vision for what wants to happen, not Mark's vision, not Gustavo's vision, not any individual. We're going to collect, it's going to be a collective thing. So what you want to be open to is noticing symbols you might see. They may not seem like it makes any sense of what has to do with what's going on tonight, but you just open up, you listen. So we're going to start out with a little meditation to help us get connected, okay? You guys are I'm going to lose you for a second here, my face, okay, for a minute, because I'm going to go over to read something real quick. I want to just read from something from, before we get started, from Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith, when it comes to the visioning process. For those of you who might be new to this, Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith says, when deep in meditation and in affirmative prayer combines in an attitude of receptivity and surrender, the result is a high state of consciousness in which we become instruments of God. The dynamic power of visioning is a way of discovering direction and clarity regarding life's goals or a current project comes from its reliance upon an inner knowing, the deep self within each of us, always available and ever responsive when it's called upon. Visioning is a process by which we train ourselves to be able to hear, feel, see, and catch God's plan for our life or for a particular project that we're working on. It's an organic process that evolves as we practice it and as we grow spiritually. And it is based on the idea that we are not here to tell God what to do or to ask God for things, but to absolutely be available for what God is already doing, to open up ourselves up to catch what's already happening. Okay? So that's a little blurb from Reverend Dr. Michael Beckwith. So let's begin. Does anybody have any questions? Does that make sense so far? Okay. All right, so let's begin just by observing our body sitting here. And so as we take a few conscious breaths now, and just give ourselves permission to stop everything and to be here now, in this moment, sitting in this chair, as we create a space and a way to tap into a depth and a ground within us that taps into the infinite source, power, love, creative energy, creative intelligence that's in and through all of life. And that right here, right now, is in and through each one of us. We, each one of us, beautiful, unique expressions of this God, of this Creator. As we create a way now in a space to quiet and still our mind, we align in the sanctuary of our heart, a place of refuge within. It is in this place that we connect with this divine presence that is always here. It is in this place that we open up and throw the doors wide open to the infinite possibilities of who we are and who we are becoming. We listen to this guidance that comes from something deeper than our intellect that tries to figure things out. It is in this place of the soul connection with this divine presence that is always here, always creating. It is from this place that we listen. And so opening up our mind and our hearts now, knowing that everyone who's here this evening is here on purpose, that this is divinely orchestrated. We release anything at all that might be getting in our way this evening. We allow ourselves to open up to the process, even if you've done it in a different way than I'm sharing it this evening. Creating that space just to be open without judging or having to be any different than it comes through. We open up our mind and our heart to receive now. As we throw the doors wide open to the infinite possibilities for this beautiful spiritual community, and for specifically this evening, the Wednesday night program we currently call the Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares and Sacred Practices. And so in this quiet place now, we open up to catch God's vision for what is wanting to happen, what is wanting to expand, come through, express, individually and collectively, as the Wednesday Night Wisdom Share Sacred Practice Wednesday night program. And as we throw the doors open to the infinite possibilities, we let go of all previously conceived ideas of what it is or what it's not, what it should or shouldn't be, what worked, what didn't work. We release all of that intellectualizing, any trying to figure it out. We let that all go now. So we quiet and still our mind as we now open up to hear God's idea, the creative source idea of what this Wednesday night program will look like moving forward. So as we throw the doors wide open, if you can just imagine listening to your heart, what's coming through for you, and what the experience of Wednesday night is and is becoming. What does it look like? What is the essence and quality of our Wednesday night program moving forward? And you can begin to write down at any time anything that's coming through for you. Beginning with what is it, if you could imagine this Wednesday Night Wisdom Share coming from your heart, from catching God's vision, what does it look like? What does it sound like? What is the essence and the feeling nature of our Wednesday night gatherings, Wisdom Shares? And so we have infinite possibility, no limitations, as we now open up to catch God's vision. What is the experience when you walk in the door? What is the feeling nature? What is the essence of the experience that you experience coming in and experiencing the evening from beginning to end? And what new possibilities for the program, for the offerings. As we open up our mind and our heart, our soul to catch this vision. What is being revealed to you now? I invite you now to begin to write down if you haven't already done so. Any symbols that you're seeing in your eye, your mind's eye. What does it look like? Again, what does it feel like? And now as we continue in the process, we throw the doors wide open. We ask the question, what is God's idea for what's happening on Wednesday evening program? Again, including what does it feel like? What does it sound like? What's the essence of it? What is God's idea, not Mark's idea? And then write down whatever arises for you. Write down any words, any symbols, just anything at all that comes up, whether you think it's coming up from your heart or from your intellect, just allow yourself to write down anything that is arising for you. You can draw pictures, if you see symbols, if you're reminded about something that happened in the past that was opening you up to something that could be some type of music, whatever it is, just throwing the doors wide open. And the second question is, what needs to be released? And so again, we go in, we ask this beloved presence within us, this inner guidance, this deeper intuitive knowing within us that is God. We ask God, is there anything that needs to be released, anything that needs to be let go of? Any concepts, ideas, anything needs to be released or let go of that might be getting in my way in some way, shape, or form for Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares and ultimately for my life moving forward, and maybe how Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares would support me in my life moving forward. But we're catching God's vision. What needs to be released? The third question is, what must I embody? What must I embrace? to support this vision that is arising, to create the space for it to come to fruition. What must I embody in some way, shapes, or forms? Could be the littlest things or some big, vast possibilities. What must I embody for myself? If there's any lack or limitation, we release all of that and open up to what must I embody? And just write that down. And the next question is, what gifts do I bring? What qualities, attributes, gifts, talents do I have? It could just be as much as just showing up, just watching on Zoom. It could be anything so simple, or it could be something more deeper than that. What gifts do I bring? What qualities, attributes, coming through me that is being offered up? What gifts do I bring? And the next question is, what must I embody? What must I embody in consciousness, within myself, to hold this vision, to hold and embrace this vision that is arising right now, individually and collectively? What must I embody? What must I become, rather? What must I become? Is it asking me to grow in some way or step out in some way, to share in some way? What must I become? And so the last question now, is there anything else? Is there anything else at all that might just be hanging out in the background of our consciousness? Anything else that wants to be revealed now as we catch this vision? Anything else? Any little thing that just pops into our mind as I ask that question? Is there anything else that God wants us to know? And so as we hold this vision now, as if we were holding it up to our heart, knowing that we are individually and collectively creating a space for this Wednesday Night Wisdom Shares sacred practices to become all that it was meant to become, all that was divinely ordained for it to become. And with a sense of joy and excitement, new possibilities, stretching, opening, expanding, we give thanks for this process this evening, knowing that it is already done in mind. It is already done. It's complete in mind. God has already created. We're just catching what already is. And so with this knowing in our heart, our mind, our soul, we know that this program is expressing in new, exciting, and dynamic ways, and in beautiful, simple ways, in loving ways, in expansive, embracing ways. And so we release this now, we release this vision, we surrender it. We know it's already done in mind. We give thanks for knowing that it is already done in mind. In this place of deep surrender now, we know that it is all in divine right order, and with a great sense of expectancy and knowing, we claim it as so by saying, and so it is. So is anyone first time doing a visioning process? Any first timers? No? Yeah, good. Just a couple. All right, so I guess I'll keep holding this up there. So hopefully my phone will hold out here. I only have 4% left. Eunice, you might have to come get your phone going. You might have to get your phone out.
You can hold my phone.
Yeah, I can hold your phone, okay. All right, so what we're going to do now, so if you're online,
How are you going to do the Facebook?
Facebook they could type in, on Facebook they could type into, what are they? The comments. You can type into the comments on Facebook. And just write down, keep it simple. You know, we're not going to get you don't have to get too elaborate. But you can if you want to. I'm not saying you can't get elaborate, but I'm saying for the most part, we'll keep it simple. I don't know what that noise is. Is that my thing doing that? Why is it doing that when I move something on here? Okay. All right. So, we asked a few questions this evening. First of all, what is God's vision for this Wednesday Night Wisdom Share? What does it feel like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? What's the essence? What's the quality of it? What came up for you? And I remember one time I was doing a visioning process, and some lady, this was a visioning process for direction for her life. Now, so you could do things for projects, you could do things for yourself or individually. So it's always nice to do this individually. And she just kept seeing a bicycle. And she realized at the end of the vision, it had nothing to do with what she was visioning about, but this bicycle kept coming up. And when the bicycle kept coming up, okay.
Just switch this out. I
All
have
right.
60%.
Oh, great, thank you.
Put this here.
So now, I'll just turn this one off then. All right, can you guys see me on this one now? No.
You can? You saw?
I guess I don't see my face. I see, it's showing the other, turn it around. Can you turn it around so it's just looking at you? Yeah, how you normally do it. Okay. Dear God,
What did you do?
nothing.
Okay, this, how come vision?
That's me. So where are you? You're there.
I know, but why is that, you want, that's your picture. You want
That's me. I'm you now. Let's see. Oh, maybe it's here. Let's see. So there you are. But how do you turn your face on? Start. Oh, there we go. Allow. Okay. There we go. It's not allowing. There we go. Okay. Phew.
Hold it,
Lord.
if you can hold it as close to, I know your arm's getting tired.
yeah.
maybe.
I'm gonna. All right. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Yeah. Thumbs up. You can hear me on Zoom. Okay. I can't hear you, Steve. You guys are gonna have to unmute when you want to talk. Oh my God. Can you hear me now?
I think Steve's having some technical problems.
Eunice? Oh my God. What's your pin? I turned the volume up and then the thing locked. This is frustrating. There. Okay, I'll try not to touch anything else.
The volume is right here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So now, okay. So, we'll start going around real quick and share what you caught. What was the essence of what you noticed? And then the 4 questions, you can, I guess what we'll do is we'll go around, just have each person share, and I'll make some notes as we go. And we'll share what are,
Get the 6 on Facebook.
okay, good. Okay. So let me see where that went. I got too many things going on here. Okay. Okay. So, what did you notice? What did you catch? Who wants to start? Someone want to start here or someone online?
Do the ones,
Okay.
he can't sit,
So who do you have on, what do you have on screen, Jeff? Okay. Oh. Okay. I guess I'll sit over here for a second then. So first I saw the Statue of Liberty saying, "Give us your tired and poor," but then thought we also should say, "Give us your rested and rich." Then it became a place where we could all find a friend. And that was Raymond Bordeaux. Okay. Anything else, Raymond? Thank you for sharing that.
we need to capture these somewhere so that after the fact you'll have a record of them.
Yeah, can we take a picture of that somehow?
Jeff will have it.
You'll save it? Okay. Okay. Did you want to share before, are you taking off? Yeah. Do you want to share real quick?
No, but thank you.
No? Nothing came up.
I actually thought just keep it the same.
You thought what?
Keep it the same.
Keep it the same. You're like, okay, that's,
Yeah, no change.
okay, good. All right, that's your vision. That's powerful, yeah. All right, good. Thank you. Thanks. All right, so, I forget, what was his name? That was Larry, okay, sorry. Larry said, keep it the same. Okay, cool. All right, anybody else on Zoom want to go?
Mark, you probably should repeat what they say in Zoom.
I am. I can't hear you, Rebecca. Are you unmuted? You are unmuted? We can't hear anything coming off of your phone.
Let me see it. It's not coming in the office one either.
Dear God. Oh, well, she's working on that because we can't hear you, Rebecca. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Let me see. Anybody else have let me see. Maybe try to get on Zoom again. This is just so frustrating to me right now. Now she's not. Yeah, we heard her earlier. Oh, I wonder if it's this this thing being on. Turn that off just in case. All right. So can you hear her online on your computer?
No, for some reason,
She said she's going to put it on Facebook, I think. She's going to have to type it in. Who else do we have online? We have Steve and Peter. Peter, can you try and talk? Peter's muted too. Steve, can you try? Nope, we can't hear you. This is bizarre. Yeah, but then they have to type it in. I was trying, we might have to just all go over to Facebook, but let me try one more thing. Maybe part of what the vision is patience, you think? Anybody else on Zoom? Here? All right, it's not working either. All right. All right, so who wants to go next? Why don't we just go next? I'm over it. So if you can go, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Zoom, just type in your vision. If you're on Zoom, type in your vision, or if you want to go on FaceTime, you could type it in. The Zoom is, you're going to monitor Zoom chat?
I can't, they're not typing it in. I think Rebecca's going to.
All right. Okay, so who do we got here? Okay. Oh, will it come through the? Yes. Okay, cool, perfect. So Jeff's going to read it, and who's that from? Is that from?
I believe this is from Rebecca.
It must be from Rebecca.
Yeah. So there I am, yes, and there I am. Yes, from Rebecca, we have community coming together. I saw bingo, of all things. I asked if we needed a new name, and it was clear it didn't matter if we changed the name. And also from Rebecca, I heard laughter. And it was clear it didn't matter if we changed the name.
I'm just going to get out. Should I just get out of this?
No.
Okay. So that sounds exciting. So I asked if we needed
A new name.
and it was clear it didn't matter if we
changed the name.
changed the name. Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay, I saw, the first thing that came to mind is many paths and many practices.
There you go.
Thank you.
Many paths and many practices. An interfaith twist, like beyond what we have done, our typical thing is Buddhist, but have various people come in to represent their traditions, even Christians or Baha'is or Native American or, various diverse paths. And then I got this image of, have you ever been to a smorgasbord? Mm-hmm. There's one in Upland, California called Griswold's. So when I was growing up, and it had every there was so many different nationalities of food represented. It was huge, much bigger than like Corral or anything. But anyway, I saw a smorgasbord of not just faith traditions or interfaith, but of all kinds of transformational modalities, pagan practices, anything that has to do with transformation and awakening, having various people in, like, for example, there used to be, I don't know if it's still there from the pandemic, but there used to be the Goddess Temple of Palm Springs, and they did events, and that would be interesting to bring in that leader. And so there's a lot more. And then I heard too is go beyond just this valley, like include Beaumont or Hemet or Claremont even, that perhaps inviting somebody in from a distance, like we are doing it with Gail Ukaipa.
And Veronica.
But
Veronica was here from the high desert. Yeah.
but there's, to reach out beyond the desert.
Invite
And
distant
that
speakers.
came up. And what I heard when the release part was release the belief that it needs to be one format or one form or one program. Because I kept getting this whole sense of having a smorgasbord of offerings and diversity and creativity. Then I heard more playfulness and creativity and diversity. Those were the three major themes that kept coming back in some form. Creativity, diversity, and playfulness. And I did see the visuals that when we had the oracles around the outside, when we did that.
Yeah, that was fun.
Something on that order where not like it would be oracle based, but just have a bunch of samplings. Is that kind of a theme?
Yeah, and what Rebecca did was really cool too. She did something similar like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun.
So,
And fun.
but it was more that kind of thing. But it wasn't just spiritual practices. It might have been like something. It has to do with awakening or transformation in a different form.
Awakening trend. Okay, cool. Anybody else share on? Oh, Peter. Peter had a few things come up. The energy was tall and wide. Okay. Sorry, 1 second.
Do you want to go next?
So we're gonna get someone here.
I forgot to
Can you get Peter's stuff as it comes in? Okay, so Gustavo. Gustavo.
Like they were saying, just
So hold the
people-
mic up to your.
people that share their talent and gifts, and as a wisdom and an awakening, so you learn different little details of different parts of different areas, and different part of awakening or spiritual,
Okay.
and fun and entertaining. Like Jeff's music is great, and always live very happy and soothing.
Radiant, happy, and soothing. I like that. Okay. That's the feel nature of it. Good. Huh?
And alive.
Alive.
Yes.
A little more aliveness.
something.
Yeah, some energy.
Freshen up your week. Or
Aliveness, okay.
Yeah, that's what I got. Midweek pick me up.
Yeah, freshen up your week.
Freshen up.
The daily driving routine.
Same way.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Freshen up your week, aliveness. What else do you say?
Entertainment,
Entertainment.
music, your sounds.
Music, okay.
To
All right.
share everything that we all have,
Yeah. Beautiful, thank you.
I
you.
forgot one other thing too. More interaction opportunities, so it's not just presenting to the group.
Okay, more of
More
a,
engagement, so that maybe even having a night of discussion and feedback and interaction. Maybe
okay. I think he's got to go. Oh, really? So nothing else come up during that whole process? Nothing? No? You sure? Are you just being shy? Yeah? So,
There's a couple things up from online here.
okay.
If
So
you're
you
ready
want to
for
you
them.
want to keep it the same? Okay.
The way it is really nice anyway.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, it is pretty nice.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, awesome.
I've got a few things here from some folks online. First of
Okay.
all, before we get to them, how about me?
Okay.
I just wanted to quickly piggyback on something that Reverend Eunice said. I love the idea of different faith traditions that actually approaching them and telling about this. And I also, the word transformation really caught my idea. It caught my mind, my ear also. But I had an idea that a monthly topic might be an interesting thing. Like, say you have a monthly topic, and it's February, and the topic is transformation. So you go and you speak to a local Native American tribe and say, could you say something to our people about transformation from your,
Oh, that's a good
from
idea.
your tradition?
Give them something
And
to
you
talk
get different
about.
views from different people. So that
Good
was,
idea. Good idea.
yeah. So that was one. And we have several from Steve Ferger here. I'll just put them up and I'll read them to you as we go. First, he got, I got exploration around various spiritual philosophies. And then wonder, explore, stretch, expand, open. And here's a nice idea.
What was it again? Say it again.
Yeah, sure. Wonder, explore, stretch, expand, open. And this is still from Steve. Meet a mystic. Survey of different mystics and their revelations. That's a cool one. They're all cool. And then here he also said movie nights. We've had a couple of those.
Yeah,
and I
that'd
thought
be
they were
fun.
great. And also Reverend Rebecca said she also saw movies. So we've got a couple of movies coming through there.
We did that. We haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, yeah.
COVID kind of.
And also from Steve, gifts I bring, an open mind, willingness. And also embody flexibility, wonder, vulnerability. And then from Reverend Rebecca also said willingness was a word that came up several times. Willingness.
Okay.
And then Peter Bedard came in and said, love bringing in different groups like Native peoples, Wiccan practitioners, and people like that.
What else did Peter say earlier? He said something else I saw, but I didn't get to write it down.
Tall and wide.
Tall and wide?
Tall and wide. That
Okay.
was just an image he had coming through, yeah.
there is a theme that's been emerging. Diversity is why it's like going beyond.
Yeah.
I got a lot of that in mine too.
So,
Expansive. Somebody else said expansive.
Yeah.
Steve said expansive.
so expansion, wide, tall. And mine came through, even though I was actually leading it, I still was getting some insights. I felt like this idea of like healing circle, like a gathering where sometimes we come together and we come in a circle, like a sacred circle. And maybe like a topic would be for that evening. It would be short shares, but we'd create space for us to actually have that engagement. So engagement came up. I just saw us sitting in circles, like a little, like we did. That's something we did with Lori Daigle that one time was really, really cool. We did an Om. It was an Om night, an Om circle, an Om circle. We sat around, but it would be nice if we shared after. I think we did share after that too. Music kept coming up for me, like the kind of music that Jeff says, but also, I mean, if I was throwing the doors wide open, it'd be nice to have like, I just kind of had this like expansive vision that we'd have like young musicians like playing really cool music, like agape kind of stuff, But I know that's kind of throwing the door wide. That's really throwing the door wide open. But at least once in a while, it'd be cool to have. And I felt like some young people, not that we're not young, of course, but young energy, like young, some kind of young vibration. I don't know what that meant. Allowing, being open, open consciousness, of course, opening, like the experience of coming here is an awakening experience for people. It's a sense of openness. Like we walk in here and we're in that space. It's kind of like a sanctuary where we feel safe to be open, and to that divine nature. It's like opening up kept coming up. One other thing came up was keep it simple. Like just keep it simple. Doesn't have to be anything extravagant, like sometimes it can be, but just in a general sense, just keep the whole thing simple. I've noticed that as the theme of my life, actually. And then I said no limitations was one thing kept coming up, because sometimes my mind was like, oh no, we can't do that. It's just Wednesday night. It's like, well, it's just Wednesday night. I mean, well, why not? And so whatever is supposed to happen. And then I don't know if this was a selfish thing, but have it facilitated by other people. Like, I hope that I'm going to be doing the whole program. It'll be, other people will be helping to run it. And so I felt like a more of a collective consciousness coming to run this whole program. Of course, I could always be a part of that, in some way that, is part of the guidance. But so yeah, I did also think of as far as like presentations was basically, that I love when we did the Native American thing a couple of years ago, and I love when we had the Buddhists come in. I love when we have, just those different shares. So I really liked that. That was part of the theme, like what Jeff said. And give them this is our theme, and this is, would you like to come in and share on that?
We could even do a book study, like a 4-week book study.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, actually, that came to me.
It's a new book I have, and everything's buzzing, but just set aside.
Yeah.
February, we're gonna have it, we'll all read this one book together or something.
Yeah.
And talk about it.
Yeah, I was actually talking to my mentor and friend and teacher, Reverend Dr. David Leonard, today, and he just brought up that he does a Wednesday night program too, and I didn't even tell him I was going to do this tonight, and he brought it up that he's teaching this class. He's really loving it. It's Llewellyn Van Lee, and Llewellyn Van Lee's a mystic, but he's very consciousness about what's going on the earth, and it's a book study kind of thing, and it was called Awakening to the Oneness. Awakening in Oneness. And David he's so passionate, my teacher, David. He's so passionate when he gets on something, and he's just like, that's all I want to be is oneness. I don't want to teach anything anymore. I just want to be oneness. I want to merge into the oneness. And I felt that, like when you're saying that, that's the essence.
Yeah. There's a couple more from online
Okay.
here. Speaking of engagement, when you were talking about engaging people that are coming. Corinne Martin, group share with prayers, songs, stories, poetry, drum talk, kind of along that same line.
Wait, who said that?
Corinne Martin?
Corinne. Okay. Oh, great.
Uh-huh.
And Nana Debbie.
Ah,
And she said, what'd she say? She said,
Your time again.
oh yeah, Kirtan, yeah. I'm gonna try and talk her to that.
yeah.
She heard that, yeah. So prayer, story, what else did she say?
A poetry.
Poetry, oh yeah.
Poetry's lovely. We love that.
Someone mentioned drumming, by the way, like have a little drum
Yes, she did.
gather.
Here,
Oh,
yeah.
she said that too? Okay.
Yes.
Somebody donated you a drum out
I
front.
saw
Up
that
front.
huge drum. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
my God.
We're starting a monthly drumming circle.
I heard about that, yeah.
And then Peter Bedard came up with the idea of a monthly curator. That's an interesting idea. If you had a monthly topic, maybe you could have a monthly curator that handles that topic. Like if you're talking about transformation, so-and-so is going to go around and find somebody who does transformation. That's just, I assume that's what you mean, Peter.
By
A monthly
curator?
A monthly curator. Because you were talking about sharing the load with others.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, like it's someone just to do for that 1 month.
For
I see.
1 month.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, that would be a way to share responsibility. So,
Oh, yeah. That'd be
Yeah.
fun. Then it wouldn't be too much for one person, any one person.
Monthly host.
yeah,
Monthly host. Oh, I like
monthly
that.
host. Yeah, that's a nice idea.
That'd be fun. Yeah, then they could have fun finding people. It would make it easier, you know, because we all have our so many different paths. We could find different people, you know.
That would help you get the diversity.
Yeah.
It would.
We could have Michael or Emmanuel come again and, you know, share. Yeah. So anything else? Anybody else online?
Oh, I got it. Think outside the box. That came up a lot too. Think outside the box.
Can you have someone, so let's say we did a evening where it's all God, and Walter started, right?
Yeah.
There's a mic.
Okay. So if we had a special guest that wasn't in person, like It's All God, of course Walter's gone, but Erin's still alive, and I could co-facilitate with her on that particular one. But she's in Texas, in San Antonio. She would be happy to be on Zoom.
Hmm.
And
So that would be using modern technology. We could do a hybrid Zoom,
yeah,
Zoom facilitator with somebody in local. That's excellent.
and she would love to be able to explain parts of the book that most people have to read that in.
Which book is that?
It's All God.
It's All God. Oh, yeah, by Walter Starkey?
Right. So
Oh, yeah, yeah.
it's kind of a textbook of,
Yeah, I love that book, yeah.
so that could be,
Yeah.
and not just her, but other people that couldn't be here physically.
Yeah.
We could, so that.
That
would
could be like a
span-
theme. That could be like a theme for a month,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, we could read that book from him. That's a good book to read for him.
Oh, yeah. It was part of my curriculum.
And it is
when I
for a
was in
lot of
school.
classes now,
Yeah.
so, or has been for a while.
Yeah.
But other things like that. not
Yeah,
just-
this is a good idea. Yeah. And who's Aaron? Is that his wife?
That was his wife.
That was his wife, yeah.
Or, yeah, is his wife.
You know, we could, somebody from Riverside's Goldsmith, you know, they do a lot of Goldsmith stuff at the Mission Inn in Riverside.
Oh, you know,
That'd be really interesting to bring up.
invite
one of their
Goldsmith's, well, it's technically his daughter, runs that out of Moreno Valley. And then they put one on twice a year.
Too far to travel.
In October, they do a Mission Inn thing. But yeah, well, I've spoken to her. She's quite outspoken. She,
So is he for his time.
well, yeah, and
The Hero's Journey, right? Goldsmith? Oh, I'm thinking Joseph Campbell. I got it.
yeah,
Right,
so
it's good.
no Goldsmith, but his actual daughter, like, Liz is in charge of his
Yeah.
printed material. Oh, yeah, that'd be a good one.
Well, good. This is good, huh? Yeah, so good visioning work. Some new doors opening up.
Also, Mark, about music, bringing music in here.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've kind of been in a quandary for is about bringing music in here is usually, you know, you bring in a group of musicians, you need to pay them. And, you know, that's just usually the way it goes. In the context of a wisdom share, perhaps not.
Right.
Perhaps not, because they're actually sharing wisdom. It's a different kind of thing. And that could be a really interesting thing. I think I'm just really feeling that work, because I just contacted a woman this week who lives up in Joshua Tree, and she's doing some really interesting pagan women's work with folk music up there.
Oh, cool.
And just from talking to her, we're going to be talking later about some musical stuff later next week, but just from talking to her, I don't know if she'd be up with it, but I think she might be, or someone who is working along those lines might be. That's sort of an avenue to pursue, and it's a really unique opportunity for musicians who are involved in spiritual work and their music's part of that to actually come and talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to tell you because I've had that opportunity since I've come here, and it's been golden. Where else can you do that?
Yeah.
That's an avenue to pursue. So.
I like the idea also. That sounds good. And then maybe that made me think of having like a little event ever so often. Like creating it like an event. Like, who's really good at doing the events is Reverend Vince Kiefner, because he had all these amazing speakers come through. I mean, sure we could do it in a more micro way. Like we can get some people to come in and maybe have an event.
Well, being that we're so close to Los Angeles, there's a lot of speakers in LA.
Yeah.
So we could bring in somebody, and it wouldn't be a huge thing. They could even go, they could go back home afterwards.
Yeah.
8 o'clock.
Yeah. I want to do one called Your Hero's Journey, and create a way for people to share about different people to speak about their hero's journey, and what their story. All right. Well, lots of good ideas coming up, and so one of the things of the visioning process is what is mine to do. Is there anything that anyone wants to do, whether you're here or online? This is going to be an ongoing question this next month for sure. I'm going to be asking people, is there some way you want to participate in some greater way, or volunteer, or share, or present, or whatever, But that's how we keep the vision going, is by our action. We say in Science of Mind, we say treat and move your feet, right? And so the action is also showing up as part of the action, coming in. We so are very grateful for everyone who comes. But also sometimes for maybe facilitating something, or finding somebody, or being one of those people who's, like Peter said, the curator, the monthly host, whatever it is for you. You let yourself sit on that, or sit with that for a while, and then see what comes up. And just let me know, or let Eunice know, or Jeff, and we'll allow, I always like to say, allow God to work in us, as us, and through us to create this thing, right? But it needs our hands. God needs our hands. Sound good? Anything else? Are we all good? Thank you, guys.
Well, I do like your idea of more interaction. Like when we come, sometimes there's only 7 or 8 of us in here.
Yeah.
And I don't know any of them.
Yeah, that would be nice.
There hasn't been any, like...
we talk a little bit, but it's usually individually talk.
Yeah.
We're not talking with
the
each other.
speaker speaks a lot, and we don't really necessarily have interacted with the speaker. The speakers have been amazing, by the way, but there hasn't been a lot of, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it might be my...
People are hungry for the more engagement and interaction, just because all the other things, like classes, are tending to be, one direction. That sometimes you have group discussions as part of the class, but then like Sunday mornings, it's one direction, the speaker speaking to that. So there needs to be, to balance all the offerings, there needs to be a time where everybody gets to share that
Yeah.
topic.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we share, but we share individually, not
Yeah.
together with each other. That's a really good idea. So yeah.
Yeah.
We'll-
One thing from Rebecca, she mentioned here, she has the contact info for the Goldsmith Group in Moreno Valley, if you need it. She gets their monthly newsletter.
that might be like a nice thing to do, to have like an event. That might be like an event to have her come. And
That's a really good idea.
yeah. Yeah. All right, well, thank you, everybody. What a wonderful evening.
Yes, thank you.
Yay, I'm excited for our Wednesday night wisdom share, sacred practices, and whatever else it's turning into.
You know what you look like an Amish man? With hair- Like from here, it looks
I look like an Amish. You got
Yes, you
the-
look-
like that's your beard.
Yes,
Amish person.
you did.
It's my new look.
So you get a little black hat.
He actually drove here on a horse with taillights. I saw.
That's funny.
Thank you, Mark.
Well,
Thank
thank you
you, Mark.
guys. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, monkey people.
Yay.